Are Bruno Mars and Rose from Blackpink secretly more than just music legends? Could their mysterious closeness hint at something deeper? Fans have seen the signs, but is it real? Or are we just chasing shadows? Comment your theory below. Smash that like button if you're just as intrigued. And don't forget to subscribe for the full unraveling of this story. That's got everyone talking. There are moments in pop culture that spark wild speculation. A glance, a gesture, a fleeting frame sometimes. That's all it takes to set the internet ablaze. But what if the flames weren't just fanfiction? What if, hidden beneath the glamour, choreography, and chart-topping tracks, there was something intimate brewing between two of the world's biggest stars, Bruno Mars and Rose from Blackpink? On the surface, they seem like two planets orbiting different galaxies. One is a Grammy-winning crooner who's redefined retro soul for a modern era. The other is a K-pop icon whose ethereal voice and magnetic presence have made her a global muse. But as rumors swirl, people aren't asking if their worlds collided, they're asking when, where, and most of all, why. The signs weren't always obvious. At first, it was subtle to subtle. Perhaps a backstage photo, a shared glance during an award show, a suspiciously similar fashion choice, dropped within days of each other. And then came the moment that truly ignited the fire. SoFi Stadium, a venue that has become a mecca for modern music. Bruno Mars was there. Rose was there. But were they there for the music, or for each other? Let's rewind. The weeks leading up to the event were already stirring with speculation. Bruno had been suspiciously quiet on social media, save for a cryptic post with the caption, "Real ones know." Rose, too, had gone a bit quieter than usual until she suddenly posted a single rose emoji. No context, no explanation. Fans immediately went into overdrive. Was it a nod to her name? Or was it a signal, something only a few were meant to understand? And then it happened. At SoFi, cameras caught Rose walking into the venue hours before her scheduled sound check. Bruno Mars, supposedly only there as a guest, was already inside. The question that hasn't stopped echoing since that night: what were they doing behind those closed doors? They weren't seen together publicly that night. No hand-holding, no selfies, no stage photo ops. But maybe that was the biggest clue of all. These are two artists who know the price of fame. If there was something real, something raw between them, wouldn't they protect it at all costs? Some fans believe this connection goes back further, back to the days when Rose first began sharing English language covers of soul classics. One of the most viewed clips on YouTube features her singing "Versace on the Floor," a Bruno Mars classic with aching tenderness. Could it have been more than admiration? Was it a subtle nod to a shared story the world didn't know yet? Bruno, in interviews, has often talked about searching for authenticity. "I don't care about flash," he once said. "Give me the real thing." Those words had echoed with fans who now see Rose as that real thing. An artist who, beneath the shimmering perfection of K-pop, shows vulnerability, soul, and heart. It's easy to dismiss the idea. After all, the music industry is built on illusions, smoke and mirrors. Collaborations come and go. Friendships are forged on tour buses and shattered by contracts. But this feels different. There's no official track, no joint performance, no brand deal tying them together. Yet, somehow, their names keep floating in the same sentence. Was it fate? Coincidence? Or have we just been blind to what's been unfolding in plain sight? Insiders, those rare few who've worked with both artists, have been tight-lipped. One anonymous source, however, dropped a curious comment during a podcast interview earlier this year. "Let's just say, if those two ever got in the studio together, the world wouldn't be ready." It was brushed off at the time, but now, it feels like a breadcrumb in a trail we all missed. Even their artistic choices have begun to mirror each other in strange, almost eerie ways. Bruno's recent stage were more minimalist, sharper, cleaner mirrors the kind of sleek silhouettes Rose has championed. Meanwhile, Rose's solo work has leaned into that rich, soulful territory Bruno made mainstream years ago. Coincidence, or a kind of creative echo? But beyond the speculation and clues, there's an emotional core to this story that fans can't shake. Both Bruno and Rose have often spoken about loneliness, about the pressure of perfection, about feeling like outsiders in an industry that demands masks. And maybe, just maybe, they saw something familiar in each other, a reflection. Could that be the real reason they've grown closer? Not for publicity, not for music, but for solace. The emotional terrain gets even murkier when you consider Rose's recent statements about wanting a partner who understands the silence. It was during an interview and she was asked about relationships, and she hesitated, then whispered, I think I want someone who knows when not to talk. Bruno once said something almost identical in a Rolling Stone interview. The best kind of love is when you don't need to say anything, and you still know. Different languages, different continents, yet the same yearning. Fans have taken to Reddit, TikTok, and fan forums with wild theories. Some claim to have spotted Bruno in Korea late last year. Others insist Rose was in LA longer than her official schedule suggested. Photos, blurry. Evidence, circumstantial. But in the age of digital detective work, it doesn't take much to ignite belief. Still, nothing has been confirmed. And perhaps that's the point. Maybe this isn't a story of a secret romance. Maybe it's about two artists circling the same emotional orbit, slowly gravitating toward each other, connected not by PR strategy, but by pain, passion, and the pursuit of something real. Maybe it's not about love. Maybe it's about healing. Yet the mystery endures. When asked recently about future collaborations, Rose gave a smile that launched 1,000 theories and said, There's someone I'd love to work with, but I think it would surprise people. Bruno, when asked a similar question, just laughed and said, Surprises are better left as surprises. Is that all this is? A tease? A smokescreen? Or is it the soft unveiling of a truth neither of them are ready to fully share? What makes this story so compelling isn't the glamour. It's the gaps, the silences, the unspoken gestures that speak louder than press releases ever could. It's the way Rose looked at the piano before walking off stage. The way Bruno's lyrics have become just a little more wistful. It's the way the world seems to be catching its breath, waiting for a headline that may never come. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes it real, because sometimes the greatest love stories aren't declared, they're felt. They're in the quiet, in the spaces between songs, in the glances the cameras miss, in the harmony that exists, and no one is listening. So what do you think? Is it fantasy, or have we been watching something real all along? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that like if you've been connecting the dots too, and subscribe to stay locked in because if this story is still unfolding, you won't want to miss what comes next. After all, some truths don't need to be shouted, they just need to be heard. And maybe, just maybe, love, like music, says the most when it says nothing at all. And as the conversation deepens and the clues continue to stack, it's no longer a question of whether something is happening behind the scenes but rather, what kind of something. Are we looking at a burgeoning musical alliance that could redefine pop-soul collaboration? Or are we bearing silent witness to the formation of a deeply personal connection, one not meant for the spotlight, but too powerful to stay completely hidden? The tension in the fandom is palpable. Every new post, every story, every interview clip is now dissected with a forensic passion. When Rose posted a blurry, black and white photo of a microphone resting next to a fedora, many fans lost sleep. The hat looked unmistakably Bruno. Was it intentional? Was it a tease? Or was it another accidental knot in a saga increasingly devoid of accidents? Bruno's recent tour setlist also added fuel to the fire. Midway through his shows, he began including a new interlude, an unreleased melody with haunting piano chords and the repeated lyric, I see you in the silence. The internet exploded. Was this written for someone, or more specifically for her? In the vast, competitive world of global music, real connection is rare. That's why fans are so quick to grasp at these moments. They want to believe that two artists who seem so vastly different, can find each other in the chaos, that beneath the brands, the stage lights, the fan cams and headlines, something real can grow, something tender. And in that belief lies the magic of this story. Because Bruno and Rose aren't just icons, they represent two poles of modern artistry. Bruno grounded in rich musical tradition, in analog textures and velvet tones. Rose carved from the precision of K-pop's digital world, trained to shine with pristine perfection. But both carry a quiet melancholy that peeks through their most powerful performances. That ache, that longing may be the invisible thread pulling them toward each other. Neither of them have addressed the rumors directly. No denials, no confirmations, just the occasional side glance in interviews, the faintest of smiles when asked about someone special, the cold shoulder shrug when collaborators are mentioned. And sometimes, silence is the loudest response of all. There are no scandals here. No paparazzi shots of them sneaking out of restaurants. No invasive exposes. What we're left with is something far more intimate. Emotion, timing, resonance. A story not being told through headlines, but through harmony. A story that might never be made official, and that might be precisely why it matters so much. Because in a world where everything is curated, performed, and posted, the most powerful truth might just be the one they refuse to say out loud. And maybe that's the message they've been sending all along. When Rose shared a photo of her with a caption that simply read, "Only real hearts know," the comments flooded in with one name, Bruno. And when Bruno, days later, posted a photo with no caption but only a rose emoji, well, you can guess what happened next. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe the kind of storytelling that transcends lyrics and press releases, a language of echoes, symbols, and shared silences. It's the way they move around each other, not directly, but like dancers in a room full of mirrors. Always in motion, always in proximity, always connected by something that can't quite be seen, but undeniably felt. There's no playbook for this, no neat ending, no guarantee, just possibility, just wonder. So here we are watching, waiting, listening for a chord, for a word, for the moment when two voices, from two vastly different corners of the world, might finally sing in the same key. And if that day comes, it won't be about tabloids or trends. It'll be about resonance, two hearts beating in time, two artists rising above noise to find clarity in one another. Until then, we follow the signs, we rewatch the clips, we scroll through the posts, not because we're desperate for a celebrity couple, but because, deep down, we believe in the power of connection. We believe that even in the most unlikely places, between beats, between tour, between worlds, love, or something like it, can grow.